two things: eating high
What is going on, man? We are back and black in this motherfucker. God damn, man, we made it back another day. Another 10 cents for black folks. Another $250,000 for white folks. And that's a motherfucking fact. Man, what is going on? Man. We got a lot of shit to discuss. Shout out to all my corporate plantation soldiers. You know, out there handling business and making it do what it do. Shout out to everybody out there at the corporate plantation. If you're out there dry snitching and telling on somebody, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. It's a lot of them motherfuckers, man. I would suggest you just go to work, do your job, and hush the fuck up. Don't say shit. Don't say nothing to nobody. As Neely Fuller Jr. says, when you talking to white supremacists, you all are suspected white supremacists. You always start the conversation off with a question. Is there anything you need me to do? Oh, I didn't understand. Oh, I didn't know that was happening. So explain it to me. What do you need me to do? That's how you got started, man. Motherfuckers think that you ain't supposed to do it like that, but I'm telling you, that's the way you got to do it. If you don't do it that way, man, you fucked every time. Shout out to everybody out there that's begging. If you're a begging ass motherfucker, if you're a certain age and you begging, I ain't got to say your name. I ain't got to say nothing. You know who the fuck you are. For all you motherfuckers out there begging, you know what I'm saying, and waiting for somebody to, you know, take you to the afterlife. Because if you do good right now, you're going to go to the afterlife. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Shout out to everybody out there that is working hard at the corporate plantation, handling business. If you're going to work, man, shout out to you. If you're getting off work, man, shout out to you. I already know what the fuck it is. Erica, man, I read that thing. Look, you already know YouTube. Shout out to the homegirl Erica. She put this long post. It was about the baby, and it wasn't really about him, but it was about defending black women and all that. Man, and when I went to try to comment on it, YouTube, my own YouTube page wouldn't even let me respond. So I'm just letting you know, they be bullshit. I don't know what the fuck be going on. I don't even be thinking, sometimes YouTube will display to me that ain't nobody watched the shit. And then you'll send a comment, or somebody will send a comment, I'll get the comment like 10 days later. So shout out to everybody out there, man, that's be, you know, man, watching this shit. You know, this bullshit show I got going on. And shout out to everybody out there that's not begging, reading, and researching. Man, we gonna get into today. We gonna talk about defending black culture. We gonna talk about T.I. a little bit. We definitely gonna talk about Ed Buck. Remember, I just brought up Ed Buck. You notice the Democratic Party is not talking about Ed Buck. He was convicted. Yeah, so we gonna get into that shit too, because he's a white supremacist. And the Democratic Party tried to keep that shit under their hat, because what was more important was Joe Biden winning and shit. They didn't give a fuck about Ed Buck killing niggas. So yeah, we gonna get into that, man. We gonna talk about all that today. We gonna talk about a lot of it and how it relates to, you know, our wonderful corporate plantation. Damn. That's another thing, man. I'm getting tired of these motherfuckers. I always add these extra fees, man. I'm looking at this registration shit for a motherfucking car, man. Just adding on fees for no reason. Shit that wasn't never even on there before, man. Get the fuck out of here. But anyway, man, we gonna get into it, man. Cut this clown ass shit down so we can get into it. Man, I'm hey, another day. What is it? What's today? Thursday? Man, one more day, man. I hate to be like what Dame Dash said, man. You gotta stop hustling for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday is not long enough. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just I was talking to somebody I know. He was like telling me about his business, how he tried to start his business to get his shit going, and he had said something very, very poignant. He was like, man, if I can get the fuck away from this corporate plantation, I'll quit today, man. I'm just trying to get my business affairs in order. I'm trying to reorganize my life. He said some real shit. I'm trying to reorganize my life and get all these people out of me. Hey, reorganize friends and everything. That's real, and it's very difficult to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, it got quite easy to me, man, because I became a recluse, and, you know, you don't want to be bothered, man, especially when you read and shit. You just don't want to be bothered, especially if a motherfucker not reading and they ain't trying to research shit, and they got all day, and they ask you, man, what you been doing all day? You like, oh man, working and reading and shit, man. What you been doing? Oh man, just chilling. Man, I ain't got time for no shit like that, man. So, you know what I'm saying? It put things in perspective for me, man, just hearing that. But man, we gonna get into it, man. We gonna talk about how the LBGTQ LMNOP gang is going after the baby, just like we talked about on Tuesday. But we also gonna talk about now T.I. came out and defended him, so they coming after T.I., man. They didn't already try to shut him down anyway, cause that nigga started speaking some real shit. Them motherfuckers like, oh yeah, and they thought sending them nothing ass bitches his way. And all them bitches gave consent. Them bitches ain't get raped, they ain't get sexually assaulted, none of that. They just want that bread. They trying to basically stronghold and strangle T.I. financially, because they know he's got a huge following and they know that people listen to what he got to say, and now he's starting to speak some real shit, so now they don't really want him around. He always been speaking real shit, but now it's kind of definitely going at certain things. Like he started talking about the LGBTQ community too, and what I liked about it is, hey man, they do act like a gang. You can't say nothing about their asses. And my question is this, and I saw what Chris Brown said too. Chris Brown came, because I think Chris Brown came from an authentic place. Like, just shut the fuck up, do your show, thank everybody for coming, and get the fuck out of there. Because, Chris Brown knows what it is to get shut down. I don't think he was coming from a malice place or a malicious standpoint. I think he was just coming from, man, I don't want to see a brother lose his shit. I don't know Chris Brown, but I can kind of tell that's the place he was coming from, because he knows what it is. They went after him too. Rihanna, she bopping him upside the head with the phone. And then when he started, responding, now he's the woman beater. But like Whoopi Goldberg said, she was like, I don't condone what Chris Brown did, but if you hit somebody, they're going to hit you back. That's why I don't go around hitting people. Now that was a true statement too. And they kind of tried to shut Chris Brown out the game too. So I think that was the place he was coming from, man. And it's so funny, man, because when you have anything to say about them, Lil Nas X and Lil Moist X and all, just all the bullshit, man, and the Agenda 21 and them trying to force feed that shit down y'all culture, and all this fuckery shit and shit going on. And it's so funny. We got to defend ourselves at all costs. We got to defend our culture. It's not their culture. This is what I don't like about every other racial group. They treat our culture like it's a goddamn buffet, or it's a goddamn creator pizza or some bullshit like that, where they can, oh, well, I'm going to take the rhythm. Let me put that in my pot. Ooh, I'll take the melanin that, that comes along with the rhythm. So I'll put that in the pot. Let me see. Swag and style of dress. I want that too. What else I want? Staying power on the culture and all that. I'll sprinkle a little bit of that, and then you'd be like, oh, well, do you want the blackness? I want the blackness. I just want all the other shit. You just see what I'm saying? They just take what they want from the culture, then they return the sender to everything else. And then when you start calling motherfuckers out, motherfuckers look at you like, oh, how dare you? And it's so funny, man, because I keep saying this, man. It's on this Instagram. Erica, man, what's happening, my nigga? Hey, no diss. Where my phone at, man? I think I can find it. It's a big old, this bitch look like the white Precious. I'm talking about from Precious. Gabby Sidibe before Empire. Look just like Precious, but white. And she can sing a little bit. This bitch got like 400,000 followers and all this other shit. I'm like, but then it's another sister that's dope as fuck. And I follow her. I don't follow that white woman, but I follow the sister on Instagram. Timbaland does music for her too, but I just feel like why don't we get behind our people before we get behind every other racial group? It's like we treat. It's almost like we treat every other racial group like they're a god in our culture because they can replicate and mimic our culture. You don't get treated like that. I don't see motherfucking white people walking around here praising Bob Johnson because he a black billionaire. But as soon as they come into our culture, we get to praise. Oh man, he dope. And look, and I get it. You got the John B's and all that. I will give John B that motherfucker had sisters in this video, and he did say it was very important for him to display what he was into. You know what I mean? So I'll give him that. I will give him that. But besides him, I don't see no more of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody they treat our culture like a buffet. Straight up, they treat it like it's like create a fucking pizza or it's like Subway or something to them. Okay, yeah, let me get the flatbread. Yeah. Let me get the buffalo chicken turkey, whatever that's. Yeah, man. Let me get some lettuce, some olives, that type of shit. And that's what they do with our culture. And then we sit up there and we praise it and we get so happy about it because they're showing interest in something that's ours. Who gives a fuck? Do you think Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos and them give a fuck about you showing interest in them? They don't give a fuck about none of that shit, but only us. And there's no diss. It's a brother that Jadakiss he's promoting. I think it's on Jadakiss's label. White dude, he can spit, he dope. But I just almost feel like, God damn, man, it's already bad enough and hard enough that black folk can't even make it in hip hop because the naysayers are Liar Cohen and all these other motherfuckers. I would be mad as fuck to sit up there and watch another motherfucker that ain't even black culturally appropriate our culture, and then they're the naysayers. You understand what I'm saying? No diss, but I'm just saying, you got all these other people that come amongst our culture and they borrow from it, and then when they tired of it, they leave it alone. The Pink. I always get on that ugly bitch. It's not new though because rock and roll was our culture. Yeah. Hey, did y'all hear that thing about what was that nigga's name? Lil Richard. He was breaking that shit down. How they didn't want that nigga dancing a certain way around white women and all this other shit. And they started type of like they want to moisten his imagery up. They really wanted to moisten it up because they feel like it was more palatable to the white audience. Because they didn't really want no aggressive ass black man out there singing the draws off all them white bitches and shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is natural anyway. I don't understand why the fuck. I don't understand that. That's natural for any black man. If you can get out there and you can sing, you can hold your own. Any other racial group, we're not even gonna add black women, but I'm just talking about any other racial group. They're gonna be enamored. Black women, to me, they don't need to be enamored because they have the staying power. They got the soul. They got the algorithm. They have all that too. So basically, all it's doing is just. To me, we're just raising each other's vibration. To me, this is just my perspective. That's why when there's other racial groups that mimic our culture, I feel like us, a lot of the times we kind of be looking, but sometimes we get enamored by who's behind it. Like everybody was enamored by Eminem because of Dre. Those beats that Dre is producing for him, you like, damn, this nigga's dope. But then when you kind of remove Dre, you like, well, nigga, I don't really relate to that bullshit you're saying. No diss, but I don't. That's more for white people. Only thing that I disagree with, because I don't know Eminem personally, but with all this racial tension and shit going on, I don't need you talking shit about Donald Trump. That means nothing to me. Motherfucker trying to make Donald Trump the poster boy for racism. No, nigga. Sorry, my brother, but that song where you was calling black women niggers and monkeys and all that, that's racism that nobody really knew about. But if you go on the internet and go on YouTube, he talking about, oh yeah, unless he scrubbed it from the internet. No diss. I'm just saying. Does it take away from his talent and his ability? No, it does not. But I could not be a black banker, get amongst Jewish white bankers, and get to calling them all kinds of motherfucking names and laughing about the Holocaust and shit. I wouldn't be a black banker anymore. That's all I'm saying. We just don't know how to get behind each other, man. And when you see this type of shit, man, you gotta call it out. That's why I give T.I. props, man, because that machine is definitely going after him, man. Then why if I'm telling you, he's starting to say shit that motherfuckers really don't like, because he's starting to really have a following. It ain't just T.I. the gunman that got locked up for the guns and all that. They don't like that. We don't care about that. So now they want to throw the bitch charges at him. Oh man, he was sexually assaulting. You notice they threw that to a lot of people, especially melanated brothers. R. Kelly too. They threw all them cases on him about women. Bill Cosby, they threw all them cases on him. Then when Chris Brown got into it with Rihanna, and that was a private matter, they made that so public. They was trying to basically stronghold him, where he could and strangle his money, where he couldn't do shit, where he would have been out there motherfucking shining shoes and tap dancing and shit. But through it all, he was able to move past that and do his thing, man. And then you notice, because people don't know this, Chris Brown owned his own masters, if I'm not mistaken. So right after that, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw it in the news, this was a long time ago. Then after that, it was a white girl that went to his house, and he was like, "Bro, what are you doing walking around my house?" Who are you? I'm calling the police. You need to get out of here. Then the bitch talking about, oh, he done assaulted me. This is what these motherfuckers do. That was a setup too. Because it's like, they don't want you owning your own masters. Look at the three most powerful motherfuckers, I would say. And I would say Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston. Michael Jackson, they tried to do some sucker shit with him, but he already had a will. Michael Jackson was on top of his game. I don't care what you white people, I don't care what nobody say. Michael Jackson was woke. That was not no dumb nigga. So he didn't, how you gonna have billions of dollars and all this other shit, don't write a will? Man, he wrote a will. They're just these motherfuckers playing games. Talking about, oh, we got the real will. Man, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Yeah, everybody know we. Prince too. Prince was woke. Prince was telling niggas, I'm not doing a song with you unless you own your own masters. But then he didn't write a will. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. T.I. is not going to back down. He already commented on a lot of things going on even after the charges. They going after T.I. because he shut down that restaurant in Houston and pushed for the blackout 2020. Yup. And see, those are examples. See, I couldn't think of those examples, but those are examples too. You know, when you start picking at that fucking racism and white supremacy, they gonna throw shit on you. They'll make up shit. They'll have niggas, oh man, he was in the trap house smoking crack. They can dummy up some pictures. They can dummy up emails, text messages. Look, Eric Snowden already tell you what it is. That white boy didn't already whistleblow. And look, if Eric Snowden wasn't important, then why the fuck he gotta live in Russia and he can't never come back here? He gotta live in Russia, he can't never come back here because he saw some real shit of what the fuck the CIA, the NSA, and all the motherfuckers was doing. Go watch that movie about Eric Snowden. That shit is good. I'm gonna get I got the book on my list and I'm gonna order it. And I think it's very important that we got to start defending each other. I felt like we dropped the ball with our brother Nick Cannon. You know, I really felt like we dropped the ball. You know what I mean? We really dropped the ball. I think more people should have stood up and said, hey, man, maybe people don't agree with what he said, but these were in the books that he read. But I feel like so many people, and I get it, nobody wants to lose their bread. Nobody wants to lose what's going on. So I understand that shit, man. But a lot of the time, I'll be like, man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's our job. It's the people at the bottom like me. You know, people that do radio shows or whatever. Well, if you're not hooked up to the machine, I guess, man. I just think, man, we gotta wake up, man, because they don't like T.I., man. And they sent hella bitches after that nigga. Even after he came out and said, hey, man, that's my personal life. I'm not gonna discuss that. And then he even addressed like, shit, what me and my wife do in my bedroom, that's my bedroom. Look, these bitches is mad because these bitches was like, oh, Tiny T.I., I'm gonna get him some pussy and then I'm gonna be in the game. Them niggas like, all right, we done had our fun. You get the fuck up out of here now. And now they mad because they want what he got. That's why I always say this. Wealthy people don't hang out with broke people. Wealthy people hang out with wealthy people. And if they don't hang out with wealthy people, they gonna try to empower you to become rich or wealthy, so they ain't gotta be giving you shit and looking at you upside your head. Most wealthy people, they're gonna hang out with wealthy people. And there's a reason why. Because when you got bread and you dealing with bitches that ain't got no money, what you think they gonna do? They gonna have their phones out, they gonna be trying to take pictures and look who I'm with and all this sucker shit because they don't know no better. And a lot of them do know better, but they trying to come up and they trying to clout chase. We gotta do a better job of protecting our culture, defending who the fuck we are, and stop letting niggas be on some sucker shit and start fucking be calling the shit out. Y'all know this LBGQ, whatever the fuck, they a gang, man. They a gang, and the machine knows that. And not just that. Why are we only calling out what he said, but no, where's the LBGT, whatever community, when it comes time to deal with Ed Buck? You like, what you mean, Warren? What you mean? Look, I've been talking about Ed Buck. And my thing is, with Ed Buck, why are they not talking about how he got convicted? See, because he was in there killing them black men. Getting them at the crib and getting them all high and then killing them. Talking about, oh, they overdosed. No, nigga, you was killing them motherfuckers. And you was probably getting high off that shit. And since you was a political Democratic donator, the Democratic Party, you know, when you watch Power, not Power Book 2, not Power Book 3, and all them, I'm talking about the original one with Ghost. When Ghost was about to be a politician, you know, they were basically telling you how powerful the Democratic Party was because they had a guy who was a representative from the Democratic Party walk into the FBI and shut some shit down. Like, no, shut that down. That's not happening. And motherfuckers like, oh, that's just TV. Man, what the fuck you think? If Bill Clinton was in a picture with Jeffrey Epstein's bitches getting a massage and the bitch was underage, why didn't the machine go after Bill Clinton? They didn't go after Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton is a part of that system. That's why. And that system is the Democratic Party. That's why they still let him speak and nobody said shit about it. When you a part of that system, you gonna be able to get away with shit. It's just like working at your corporate plantation. You gonna see white folk get away with shit you'll never be able to get away with. Like doing black tar heroin in the bathroom and sweating like a motherfucking pedophile at a kindergarten graduation and everybody acting like it's normal. I didn't work this shit where motherfucker, everybody acting like it's normal. Like, oh, well, that's normal. That's just how Bob is type shit. He's always sweating like that. Let you come in there and it's 120 degrees outside and you got a little bit of sweat. Hey, Tyrone. Hey, it's Tyrone. Jerome, you know what I mean. Can I see you in my office? We got to talk to you. Got a coaching and counseling for you. Noticing you've been sweating a lot and, is there anything going on with drugs? We hate to have to, do a random on you. Like, man, it's 120 degrees outside. Yeah, man, but your sweating is a lot more. That's nigger sweat. You know what I mean? That type of shit. So it's like, man, it's always different for us than it is for everyone else. That's why I keep trying to bring attention to Ed Buck. If a nigga's out there killing white people and they just overdosing, man, they taking that nigga to jail. What the fuck is you talking about? This man enticing moist niggas to come to his crib and then some nigga ran up on him with a camera. Like after the second nigga died, some nigga ran up on him with a camera, was like, hey, and telling him it was another nigga with him. And was like, hey man, you know what this dude be doing? Hey man, why you not answering questions on all these people that keep being found dead in your apartment because they overdosed on crystal meth and all that? And they motherfucker try to act like he know what's going on. And the dumbass moist nigga was just walking around with him, act like one of them. I'm like, damn, y'all niggas is that dope? Y'all, and niggas don't do crystal meth, nigga. We do crack. Nigga, what the fuck? And we don't even do that shit no more. That's old. Most niggas just smoke weed. I'm like, well, but damn, nigga, I'd rather you just do crack. Not no damn, that's white people drug. The fuck? This nigga sitting up here getting high with these niggas, but he wake up and everybody else is dead. That's some Jim Jones shit. I tell you, oh, nigga, come on, man. You want to have come on, nigga. Yeah, you want to have a motherfucking a dope fiend party? Come on, nigga. And I'll lock the motherfucking doors and get my baseball bat out and commence to beating the fuck out that nigga. Well, here's your dope right here, nigga. Fuck out of here, man. You don't let no motherfucking, everybody the two niggas don't wake up and he woke up and to report the story talking about, oh man, they overdosed. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. And niggas sitting around here, the Democratic Party, I'm surprised the Republicans don't use that shit. That's probably because they in with it too. Because I'm like, why the fuck ain't nobody saying shit about this Democratic donor? I'd be like, look at this donor. He Democratic Party donor. He killing black people. Just killing them. Under the guise of they overdose. Man, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, man, I'm about to try to see if I can play some shit to see if they talk about this shit.
Hi, everybody. Once again, we are live at the federal courthouse. This is Wendy Birch. We apologize for any audio difficulties that we had earlier, but we wanted to bring you the very latest that in the federal trial against Ed Buck, the former prominent Democratic contributor, the former prominent Democratic contributor. This motherfucker was getting niggas at his house and just on some dope fiend shit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just see how high I can get these niggas before I kill them. And then we gonna all act like we hard, but I'm wake up and call the police and they gonna be dead. And ain't nobody say shit. Nobody. Now where the fuck is the community at? The alphabet community? Where the fuck they at now? Why they not talking shit about him? But they can show talk shit when you say, don't let you call them faggot or none of this shit. Then here they come. Oh, civil rights. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Now been found guilty of all 9 federal charges. That verdict coming down just about 30 minutes ago. Now, the charges are extensive. There are at least 2 counts of providing methamphetamine.
Thank you. Oh, man, that nigga, look. Oh, you should see his face. Go look this shit up, Erica. Oh, my God. I mean, he looked like Lil Daniel and them cousin from Meth Storm. Go watch Meth Storm. I think it's on Showtime, HBO. And see, I keep talking about that shit because they want people to think in the United States of America Incorporated that only black folk are dope fiends. They'll never put that on TV that white folk are dope fiends. That's why if you watch a lot of Cops, the show Cops, man, these police officers be chasing so many white dope fiends. It's fucking crazy. But when it comes to black folk, that you are front and center of the dope fiend community type shit. But when it comes to every other racial group, it's like that shit don't even exist. But what tripped me out is when you watch Meth Storm, it ain't nothing but white people just getting high. Just doing heroin. Just getting high. Black tar heroin. Just straight dope fiends. And the only bitch that wasn't dying, she was like the Black Widow. This bitch been a dope fiend for 40 years. Had all her kids doing dope. All her kids was doing dope. But then she was on like her third husband, giving him all his meds and getting him doped up. He's so fucked up, he can't even do the dope no more. You gotta go watch that shit, man. It's funny. Because they some country motherfucking bumpkins, I think out of Arkansas. And they all on that shit. Straight up.
To a victim that resulted in death, 4 additional counts of providing methamphetamine, 1 count of using his West Los Angeles apartment as a drug lair, and 2 counts of...
Oh, so he was a dope dealer too. So he was getting high. Let me tell you what I think he was doing. I think the motherfucker was acting like he was getting high. And was probably getting off at selling the shit and getting people doped up and probably telling them, yeah, man, this is the good shit. And then, yeah, man, just keep taking it and getting them all fucked up and then watching them die and calling the police. I bet you that's what he was doing. Big time.
Paying for interstate travel for the purpose of prostitution. All of these are significant charges. He's been found guilty in all of them. There are maximum sentencing. It is likely that 66-year-old Ed Buck will spend the rest of his life in federal prison. Now, this case came to light a few years back when there were a number of men, mostly black men, that were overdosing in the presence of Ed Buck, and 2 of those young men died in his apartment in West Hollywood, one of them being...
Hold on, let me rewind it. Hey, Shawnee, did you see that shit? Shawnee, hey, hold on, before I play this shit, my nigga, did you see that shit? Hey, fam, Meth Storm was funny but real. Nigga, when I watched that shit, I was just like, look at this shit. Hey, did you see the part where Lil Daniel was so fucked up? He was looking out the window and he was like tripping, talking about somebody looking over there. Somebody looking over there. I wish I had some glasses. That nigga had one rim on his fucking lenses, on his frame. The motherfucking frames was falling down. Somebody looking over there. And his mom was like, Lil Daniel, what you talking about? He was like, somebody over there looking at us. She was like, where? He was like, over there. They looking at us. She was like, man, Lil Daniel, go sit your dumb ass down, nigga. You high as fuck. Because she had been getting high so long, getting her kids high, they was all fucked up. I mean, the whole town was dope fiends. All white people, they don't never talk about this shit. You would never know that shit exists at all. Because they got everybody thinking that it's black folk that are the dope fiends. And then when it comes to white people, it's opioids. So they got everybody thinking, oh, the white people were just on pills, you know, because we're stressed and we have to go to a therapist and a clinical psychiatrist and psychologist, you know, because of the stress of being white in white America and having white privilege is so stressful. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. If anybody should be the dope fiends, it should be us, but we not. It's they asses that the dope fiends. That's why when they flooded the community with crack cocaine, at first they was like, yeah, good, we gonna make money off the niggas. But then when the niggas was selling it to the white people was becoming addicted to that shit, then it became a motherfucking crisis. But they still use black people as the fucking poster board for the shit. And Nancy Reagan's clown ass talking about just say no when her husband and Bush and all the motherfuckers is like, well, look, they don't want to fund the war, but we gonna fund it our own way. We gonna sell all this shit. We gonna have a nigga sell it all to his people, and we gonna take that money and we gonna flip it. And that's what the fuck they was doing. Let me see. The entire town looks like a back alley. Remember they was all in mobile homes? For y'all that's just tuning in, anybody's listening on SoundCloud, look, I'm talking to the chat. Shout out to Shawnee Philly, stand up. Shout out to Erica, Florida's in the building. Nigga, anybody who listen to this, go watch Meth Storm. That is the best motherfucking show I've ever seen. And motherfuckers like, why you say that? It's just a good show because it tells you exactly about the dope. And it tell you how other racial groups, them white people, all the people in that town was on dope. I'm damn near everybody. And they was all living in back alley trailers and shit. I was like, God damn. Some of them didn't have power on, but Lil Daniel and that lady was, her family was fucked up. I mean, that house that they was living in was so nasty and so fucked up. They had a fly trap over the fucking stove. Did you see that, Shawnee? That fly trap with a whole bunch of flies, and they was making food. And I'm like, oh my God. All her kids was on dope. I think it was only one kid that wasn't a dope fiend. Everybody else was on dope. Then one of her sons went to jail. He was a dope fiend. His girl wasn't a dope fiend, so she didn't want to be with him. Oh, I watched the whole thing, man. And then she took the baby away because he couldn't get his shit together, because every time he got out of the pen or jail or county jail, he'd go right back to his mama, and his mom wasn't happy until they was all dope fiends. Oh, what's going on, Taj? I see you at work now doing overtime. Okay, you better do that overtime, man. I'm telling you, shit, get that bread. Here, let's see what else they say about Ed Buck. I'm very interested to see what they're gonna say. Let's see what they say.
Of his life in a federal prison. Now, this case came to light a few years back when there were a number of men, mostly black men, that were overdosing in the
She said mostly black men.
Of Ed Buck, and two of those young men died in his apartment in West Hollywood, one of them being 26-year-old Jamel Moore, the other one being 55-year-old Timothy Dean. During the 2 weeks of testimony, there were more than 8 men that spoke in this trial, and at times the testimony was harsh and difficult for even the jurors to hear. So much of it involved graphic testimony of Ed Buck's alleged sexual fetishes and his desire, said the prosecution, to inject methamphetamine into his victims. Again,
what did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? What did I just tell y'all? That motherfucker was sadistic. That's the new and improved Jeffrey Dahmer. That's the new and improved Jeffrey Dahmer. They said it was more than 10 people that testified that was going to first. You know why? Because they was dope fiends. So guess what? Since we dope fiends, you know what it remind me of? It remind me of what was that? The Tiger King white boy. That motherfucker that had all them niggas around, had all them white moist motherfuckers around. One dude, that dude had a girlfriend. He was like, "Fuck it, I'ma just fuck with him. I don't even want to really deal with this motherfucker. But this motherfucker got the dope. He got the real dope fiend shit. So fuck it. I guess I'll just stay there because he got the dope. That motherfucker left his family, left everything. Then another nigga left his family, left his woman, everything, because they was dope fiends. And then the one white boy on the Tiger, what was his name? Joe, what the fuck was his name? I forgot his name, but he was like, they had that series, and he was trying to get that girl assassinated. The other girl that had her husband assassinated. You know, white people that just, they know they white, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. That motherfucking, that other white boy, he was so doped up, he had the gun pointed to his head playing around with another dude, and the dude was like, "Hey, bro, you need to chill out. Stop fucking around." He was like, "I'll fucking do it. I'll do it." And then he was so doped up, he ended up shooting himself in the head and killing himself. Because them motherfuckers was dope. They was dope fiends taking care of tigers. Now, what kind of shit is that? And this white dude talking about, yeah, man, I got two young people he married, two young moist motherfuckers, right? But he was a dope fiend, so he's giving them dope. But that's different. That's your own folks, so you can keep doing that with them. But when you start fucking with our people, come on, my brothers. Man, y'all couldn't have went and got y'all dope somewhere else? That motherfucker, what did they just say? He had fetishes of shooting black men up with drugs because he wanted to kill them. That's what he wanted to do. Just like Jeffrey Dahmer.
It's their will. Now, two of those victims, of course, testimony was harsh and difficult for even the jurors to hear. So much of it involved graphic testimony of Ed Buck's alleged sexual fetishes and his desire, said the prosecution, to inject methamphetamine into his victims against their will. Now, two of those victims, of course, could not testify, and that was Moore and Dean. Both of them died in that apartment. Moore dying exactly 4 months ago today. His family now is speaking to the press. We have a live camera just steps away from me.
Yeah, we gonna hear. Hey, what you say, Erica? You said that they said everybody in Florida is a dope. Wait, you said they're all dope fiends. I learned in Key West, Florida, even the judges were dope fiends. Oh, of course. Man, who y'all think is doing this shit? That's why I always be like, Nigga, we don't own no cakes, no pies, no boats, no planes, but these motherfuckers want to make us the poster child for drugs and theft. Nigga, the biggest thieves in this country is white folk. Thomas Jefferson and fucking George Washington. What the fuck did I tell y'all last week? I'm going to keep saying this. And I want y'all to keep mentioning this every time I fucking get to talking about, 40 acres and a mule and all this other stuff. You know, let that go. Be like, what do you mean 40 acres and a mule? Martha Washington had 17,500 acres of land. She was the largest, biggest plantation owner in Virginia, I think. The bitch had 300 slaves and 3 different plantations. Now, what kind of shit is that? That was like that bitch had $10 million in the 1700s type shit. That's like $550 million right now. What the fuck is you talking about? You want to tell a nigga, oh, man, that was so long ago, and, you know, that wasn't my fault what those white people did. Of course, that's not your fault, but you're a direct beneficiary of this bullshit. And then you got this motherfucker being a Democratic donor, and he get niggas high. I knew he was killing them. I knew he was doing some sucker shit, man. You could tell. Only reason why you could tell is because when that dude, whoever it was, ran up on him, I don't know if they took it off YouTube, that motherfucker ran up on that nigga and was like, bro, why'd you with this dude? This dude keep killing black people. Man, they started walking off. Ed Buck started walking off like a motherfucker, man. And I think it was a woman. She was like, why you with him? He killed black people. He get him high and kill him. And then Ed Buck was like, he didn't even know where to go. He just kept walking around in circles around the car because it was like in a parking garage. And then, you know, because that motherfucker's a dope fiend. Don't ever forget that shit. Let them take the responsibility for the dope, not us.
Listen in.
I love 2 things. Eating high quality.
Nah. Hate these motherfucking commercials. Fuck all that.
Because the witnesses weren't credible. So to get people around us that were not only in the fight with us, but they were out there searching and taking everything and using it. It wasn't just discounting.
This brother sound a little moist, but you should see this black man looking at him. He's staring at him like, man, if you don't get your ass away from me with that shit. Oh, man.
When we started on this case, it was like, it wasn't only that it didn't matter, it was like when you showed them exactly what it was, when you showed them the proof, it was not enough. It was not enough. And as a young gay black man in this city, going through Black Lives Matter and all that, it was a sudden realization that
y'all should see the black people look. Y'all need to go watch this video. First of all, he don't even look black. He look like he like Latino or some shit. That's one. And 2, the black people looking at him. And 3, they put him on camera on purpose talking. That's not the family. That's some other random motherfucking moist nigga talking about just babbling. They should have took the camera, okay, where's the real family members at? See, I need to work for the news. Nah, man, okay, thank you. Hey, man, so now what you got to say, brother? Because you babbling, and he just running his mouth about shit that don't even fucking matter.
my life didn't matter to this city. And it's disgusting.
And he sound like he's still on dope right now. You just see this black dude looking at him. Oh, man.
And it has stunted my growth. And it stunts the growth of this city. You know, how do you build on that? How do you expect somebody to build and grow past that?
Nigga, what? Man, get the fuck out of here.
If you don't show them that they are valuable.
I agree, and I'll just add
Look. Hey, that sister did exactly what that's exactly what you're supposed to do. This brother is high out of his mind, whoever he is. We don't even know him. He looked like some random motherfucker that just walked up. He looked like he just walked from the dope fiend house. First of all, he don't even look black. That's first. Second of all, he just running his mouth. Third, it doesn't even make sense what he's saying. And he look high as a motherfucker. Or he probably high, dope fiend. But this sister, she did it classy. She cut him off. I want y'all to listen. She cut him off before he could get a chance to get the rest of it out. Watch. Listen to this.
You know, how do you build on that? How do you expect somebody to build and grow?
Listen to this shit.
If you don't show them that they are valuable.
I agree, and I'll just add this to what Sammy is saying. To show show you that he's telling the truth, we have a council member behind you at City Hall named Paul Koretz, who told a group of people that all of Ed Buck's victims were nothing but disadvantaged black hustlers.
Oh, that's how you feel. Now, where's the LBGTQ? Where's the alphabet people at now? That's what the motherfucking councilman said. Oh, well, those were no good niggas. Fuck them.
And that is how a lot of the politicians looked at his victims, which is why they, like Paul Koretz, never returned his money, never even tried to acknowledge this case, boo on the Democratic Party.
And that's why we shouldn't be getting behind the Democratic Party, because those motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. And they basically was like, oh, well, those were black hustlers anyway. Basically, those were two-bit niggers. You know what I'm saying? That's all they were. They're just niggers. Fuck them.
Which I'm a member of, because like Sammy said, it wasn't just the investigators and the sheriff's department. It was the politician. It was the media worried about getting sued by Ed Buck.
Uh-huh. See, that's what the fuck goes on. So I dare a motherfucker to be like, man, that's why you need to go up there and vote. Man, vote for what? This is what the fuck they do to y'all niggas. This is what they do to us. But you want to tell me to go do some sucker shit and go vote? Man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Was everybody. And so I think we all feel vindicated today, like, finally. So anyway,
I just wanted to say one thing before we go. We are tremendously proud and lucky to have gotten to work with our law enforcement partners in the sheriff's department.
Oh, yeah, see, she on cold. See, the sister went out there and put everybody on blast. The white woman came back and was like, oh, I'm so happy to work with law enforcement because that white woman is on cold. But the black sister put their ass on blast because they didn't want to solve the case because they was afraid of being sued by Ed Buck. And he using his white privilege against other white people because he was high up on the food chain when it came to the Democratic Party. What have I been saying this whole time for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months? While y'all talking all this shit, why the motherfuckers don't go after Ed Buck?
In FBI, in DEA, they put together a tremendous case.
But what case was needed to put together when 2 niggas was found dead back to back due to a drug overdose in a white man's house? What the fuck do you mean? They didn't have to, the case was already put together for him. See, this bitch is on cold. This is what I mean about black folk being on cold. Put your differences to the side and be on cold, because she's supposed to be helping bring justice, to a bigger platform, because this man was basically killing motherfuckers, and she's still up here talking about law enforcement did a good job. But y'all was letting it go on. Why didn't y'all investigate him after the first time? But the sister already put it out there and said, well, the councilman basically was like, they ain't nothing but, gully ass niggas. They just basically they deserve that shit. So we not investigating the shit. Then the white woman come on. We were so lucky because this is what they do. Ain't that what they do at the Court Plantation? For real.
And we would not have had the volume and quality of evidence without our law enforcement partners who.
But 10 people testified. So what the fuck are you talking about? What evidence? Like the FBI did all this research. Man, stop.
The unsung heroes here. So
I agree with that 100%. It's so unusual to be feeling like that, but they absolutely, shame on Jackie Lacey. They had all that evidence, but I'm happy they were able to get it to you. And
shame on Jackie Lacey, who probably the district attorney that was like, I'm not pressing. See, another thing. Anytime you hear a motherfucker talking about they used to be the DA, just get away from them. They're the police. Anybody who say they want to be a DA, that's the motherfucking police. Straight up. And they not going to be for you, they going to be for them. And if they black, they really going to be for them. Because if they black, they are either a mammy, a Sambo, or a coon. Just like Keisha LaMammy Bottoms. She told all them niggas, how dare y'all tear down Ted Turner's building after everything that Ted Turner done for us. Ted Turner was the one pushing the Agenda 21. He was the one pushing that agenda. Population control. Talking about we got to get the Earth's population down to 500 million. Ted Turner said that. But y'all want to, how dare you tear down Ted Turner? Man, fuck Keisha LaMammy's body. That bitch is a fucking mammy.
Happy you guys were able to use it.
And I just want to also say thank you to Jasmine Kannick for being a tireless advocate in the community who never let go of the truth and fought for the truth. What was said about my community in that courtroom was not true. What I know about my community is this is what pride looks like. This is what makes our community proud. People coming forward, standing courageously in their truth, and fighting for justice. And I am so deeply grateful to you, Jasmine, to the families who shared your stories and shared your...
That's because it's always us that's going to get to the crux of the fucking problem. Why most dominant white society people will turn a blind eye and act like they ain't see shit. That goes on in law enforcement. It goes on in entertainment. It goes on in education, the educational system. It goes on at the corporate plantation. Everywhere you look, that's what goes on. We got to work 10 times as hard, and they'll still be on code what they own, period.
Courage. Dane, I don't have words for the courage and strength that you have shown to make today possible. And I am deeply grateful to everyone who pursued truth on this day. The anniversary of Jamel's death in our community is an opportunity for life and justice. Thank you.
We're so proud to have you as our new superhero in West Hollywood.
Yeah, nah, we ain't gonna play the rest. That nigga don't want to hear that shit, man. Fuck out of here. That nigga, moist dope fiend. Fuck out of here. But anyway, but back to what I was saying, man. Hey, man, I just thought that I'd touch on those subjects, man. I want y'all to really, really, really understand that it's a war out there where no man is safe, especially black folk. If you melanated in the United States of America Incorporated, it's on all fronts. It's on the financial terrorism of who we are. It's on the physicality of who we are, the mental of who we are. You got to be mentally tough when you're on these corporate plantations because these people will try to ruin you mentally first and break you down. First, they'll have you, they want to see if they can buck break you and get you to be they fucking Sambo or Coon or Mammy. And then when they know that you can't do that, then they start fucking with you, riding you about every little fucking thing. Then when they can't get you on that, then they'll just fuck you mentally. Give you a little penny on your raises and do it's just all this sacrificial fake ass bullshit that have people doing it. That's why I always tell people avoid office politics at all means possible. I always tell this story. A motherfucker gonna ask me, man, what do you think about Colin Kaepernick kneeling? I said, I don't watch football, so I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. And that motherfucker didn't even know what to say. And I was like, and yeah, I watch football, but I'm not going to discuss that here. I said, I don't watch football. Why? What did he do? He's like, oh, okay, never mind it. Yeah. Because you thought I was going to be like, yeah, see, that's racist. And man, I'm not doing that shit with no Simple Simon ass motherfuckers. You better go read a compensatory counter-racist code by Neely Fuller Jr. You don't get involved in none of that bullshit. Don't let these people walk you down a path of unforgetfulness where you backpedaling, you don't remember what you said, and they taking your words and twisting it and turning it, and then before you know it, you in human resources, and now they didn't file a complaint against you because you're making them feel uncomfortable. Man, fuck all that. Go to the corporate plantation job, get your bread, and get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck away from them people, act like they don't exist, do what you need to do, and get the fuck away from them. Stop playing politics. Don't even play politics in your everyday life. If you don't have to, don't do it. If you don't have to be involved in it, don't be involved in it. Don't even replicate it or do it. You're wasting time. You're wasting fucking time, man. Playing politics and replicating that type of behavior, that's for people that got that time and got that generational wealth. If you don't got generational wealth and you don't know what to do with it, if you do get it, learn about that. Don't take your time to be playing some hierarchy and need political warfare game with people because you're wasting time. You're jogging in place. So, hey, man, your lane is your lane. Stay in it. Don't worry about everybody else, man. Go check that out. Y'all go read the shit for yourself. Shout out to everybody that's out there. Hey, man, you already know what it is, man. If you see a motherfucker talking about if you see a nigga up here talking about I voted for Joe Biden, I'm voting for him again. That's a Sambo. Tell him about the gun line. Hayward Shepherd, Steven from Django, coon ass nigga. And I don't fuck with him. Guilty nigga. I'm out, man. Peace.